Hey there guys, good morning and happy Sunday to you. Had a great date night last night. The kiddos were away, so I am sorry I'm a little hoarse, still chilling in my bathrobe. Beauty of not having any kids at home and being able to work from home too. So I just wanted to wish a happy Rosh Hashanah to everyone that celebrates. We are going to go and celebrate with our friends tomorrow, and just wanted to wish you guys a happy and blissful new year. And with that, we are going to be doing a 10-day green smoothie cleanse, getting rid of all the junk that we ate throughout the summer. For us, we really eat a lot of junk in the summer months up here. And I mean, we eat chips. I love Cheetos. I love Cheez-Its, and it's not good for me. So going ahead and cleaning out everything that I have taken in this summer with the change of seasons, try to get rid of this cold. So if you want to join me, we're doing it October 1st. This is the book that I'm going to be using. And I wrote an awesome blog this week about trading from home, so definitely check that out. And at the bottom, it's talking about the events coming up. That's one of the beauties of being able to work from home. It's really cool, it's awesome, but it's great to be able to connect with other traders in person. So in October, just about a month away, heading out to LA first and doing just a traders meetup there, just hanging out. I love Mexican food, so Sagebrush Cantina. And then that weekend, we'll be at the Trade Idea Summit. All the links are below as well, so you guys can join in. And then after that, in November, going to the Dallas Stock Whisperer Darkpool's event, where you can really come. It's a free event. Come learn all about the dark pool and see how you can really use that as a trading edge, right? If you are able to see the trades placed by these big guys, you don't necessarily know the direction until after the stock starts to move, but you see, okay, if there's 20 million shares that was traded, do you think there's going to be a big move coming? More than likely. Then you just follow that move, right? So that's where my trading really changed after meeting Stephanie, first in my book, then at my first trading summit that I hosted, and now we are working together and I'm helping to teach in the training pit. So really, really excited about all that. So, if you're in LA or San Diego or Dallas, I would love to meet you and hang out and talk shop about stocks. Absolutely love it. Something I'm passionate about. So check it out. What software do I use? I see that side. So I am using TradingView for my charting, and I also use Thinkorswim for looking at level 2, looking to see where Goldman Sachs is on the books. Also the active trader to see where the prints come through. Where I can see it on, it's like a volume heat map to me is how I read it. I don't use it necessarily for trading. I trade in other accounts. But I use that platform as well as Charles Schwab for the dark pool prints. So does that answer your question, Sai? I hope it does. If not, let me know. All right, so first we'll get into the review here of the indexes. As you guys know, if you've been following me in the past, I did have my Series 7. Oh my goodness, it was way back in 2000 now. But I left the trading world at that time, so I'm no longer current, but I did go through all the training for it. So please remember to do your due diligence in trading. No results are guaranteed, and any past performance is no indication of future performance. And there's always risks in trading any sort of securities instrument. So just make sure that you're aware of that in trading. All right, so let's get down into the index analysis for the week to start off. So the SPY here, right, we came up here, we consolidated, we came down. This is the 161 EMA right here. So we consolidated down here for a couple weeks, and then we shot up again and we tested this upper trend line, and then we came back down, we curled over the averages, and look at this. This blue line right here is my 50 simple moving average. And the 50 simple moving average, we tested it once, bounce, twice, bounce. We came up, we hit this orange line is my 20 simple moving average, right? We hit the 20 and we pulled back. Then on Friday, we bounced back to that 50, and then we hit that 20. So we're just sort of bouncing between the two averages right now. Looks like the 20 has selling to it. We're below it. We went below it. It sold again, sold again, sold again, right? But every time we hit the 50, we're bouncing up. So this week, right, if we can go ahead above this 20 simple moving average, which is this orange line right here, 297.82, if we can go ahead and bounce above that, there's a good likelihood we'll go and we'll test this trend line here and then on up to this upper trend line, 302.50 area. If we break down, we have the 90 simple moving average here, and then this light purple is going to be 120 simple moving average. So we could come down further and test 292.73 down here, 291, but we've had this big area of consolidation. So not really bearish to me, unless we can really break 285. I know everyone's like, oh, the big recession's coming, right? Well, we have this resistance up here, 299 area. We tested up here, 301. So it's like, for me, really in the big picture, bullish above 301 and overall bearish recession 285. Going into NASDAQ. All right, same sort of thing, right? We came down. This, like I said, is the 120 simple moving average. We bounced above it, hit up here. We have the 4 and the 8 curling down. This green dotted line is the 21 EMA for me. Many times I find when we are below it, that can be a trend change. So we're bearish, 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 came down, but we keep bouncing. We're finding support down around this 186.75 area. So going forward with this week, I'd look for a break of that 120 as well, so 190.50 for more of a bullish picture, and breakdown of 186.75 for more of a bearish picture. When we look at it on the weekly, you'll see pretty much that's going to be where we are, right? So 190.40 and low of the 187 area right there. We go back to the daily and IWM. So we can see this one's really been bearish ever since we tested up here. We had a double top, almost a triple top, right? So we had one here, here, and here, and now it's been pulling back. However, we have this W shape here, right? And when we look, okay, we came to that midline of the W shape and we broke out again, and then we came back and we're testing it again. So can we break down below this 150 area? And are we going to break this trend line right here? I'm so sorry that I have such a raspy voice today. So, what's our price action going to be? We've got this descending triangle right now, right? We'll make that a black line. And I'll make it thicker. So we've got this descending triangle. So is it going to break down here, or is it going to find support? And we have a couple days in the week, really, before it'll make a difference. Bigger volume here. A little bit less, a little bit less. So are we going to break this trend and break up with higher volume? We'll see. That's the cool thing about the market, is we just have to watch it, right? And then act on how it reacts. So potential longs for the week. I always post these on Twitter as well as Instagram, my chart as far as the levels to watch. So if you miss it right now, don't worry. You can see the visual on Instagram or Twitter. Also LinkedIn too. So we've got here, and for here, hold on, let me just move my chart over on my other screen. So I've got it. So I've got support of 1086 and resistance of 1139. Let me bring it back to the 15-minute chart, right? So you can see it broke the 1086 level, came up, it had resistance here at 1112, then it broke out, came back down, tested it at 1086, and really I would look for that breakout of 1040, 1039 area. I actually have the wrong numbers up here. I don't know why I had 1122, but 1086. Now here does have 13 million in the float, and it was 66% short float volume on Friday. When we look at it back on the big picture of the yearly chart, you can see that we have also come to a prior resistance level, right? It was resistance here, broke out, came back, tested it, broke down again. So if we break this 1139 level, I'd say the next test is going to be that 1180, and then potentially over here 1250 area. it has had higher volume as it's been curling up overall, right? So looking at this volume, this buying area right here, potentially buying because we're seeing that the price action is moving up and it's higher volume. So therefore there's less sellers right at that moment, right? Supply and demand. So looking for that potential continuation there. Next, I keep looking right to see if you guys have questions, so that if you notice that. Next on the potential long is Libby, right? Libby glass. So we have potential long above 360 because we did break that 352 after hours. So looking for that next 10-cent increment and support of 331. Massive volume at the end of the day. I mean, if you look at the volume down here, the volume will tell you a lot, right? So we broke up above 3, pulled back, and then massive volume spike. Sellers took over, and then it just upward trended all day with buyers taking over. And now we came to a resistance of 330 area and broke above it, and then had a surge of massive volume. Libby does have 21 million in the float, and it was 55% short float volume on Friday. Looking at it on the big picture here, right? So we had earnings back in August, end of August. So we're probably going to get it again in November. If I slide forward, it'll probably show us, but it's okay. And again, we've held up above the averages, bigger volume here, came up, found resistance, like I said, at that $3 mark, and then pulled back. And then again, look back here, this was prior resistance. So once that resistance was broken, it's now flipped to be support for us. And it's no coincidence, right? Here was a resistance level that was support in the past, right? Now, if we break that, where do you guys think it's going to go? I'm thinking up to 405 and potentially 446 for targets to the upside. So that's a nice 80-cent move depending on the position of your shares. And then if it goes ahead and it breaks this, which you can see was support, or support right back here, then potentially on up to 520. This is the 425 EMA. Coincidence? It's amazing how these things all come together. If you guys want to learn more about it, just check out the trading pit. It's awesome. Okay, next potential long, Zenlist. So I didn't put the support to be broken all the way down here because it found support and bounced back here. It had a temporary blip on Friday, but it looks like it's in that upward trend. So I would look for support to be, resistance to be broken of 72.83 and support of 71.31. If it were to break down further below 70.15, way more bearish. And when we look at it in the big picture, it's come back down, it's tested, bounced, and it had buying power here. We had this big buying candle right here, came back, had more buying, right? It had a gap here to fill to the downside, potentially down to 69.74 over here when you look back. We have bigger volume right here. So definitely keep it on watch. That's the beauty about trading. You got to be prepared either side, right? Don't just map out just a long. Also look at it, okay, well, if you had that thought that it was going to go long and it doesn't, what's the flip side of the coin, right? Is it going to be a short then? What are your levels to watch for a potential short on it? You've got to be nimble. Okay. Next potential long, and Zen does have 10 million in the float, and it was 66% short float volume on Friday. So if it does go ahead and open up higher, it could really squeeze some of those shorts that might have been shorting it all the way along and really rip it up. If it broke above 76.24, I would look for that to really be a breakup up here to the 79.80 area. Next potential long, ATU. So we had dividends, we had earnings, and it bounced, it pulled down, bounced, came up, tested a high of 22.56. So that's my secondary resistance to be broken, but really 22.41, this first level that it tested but couldn't break above. And then 21.91 for support. So looking to see, because above this 22.56, we do have the gap fill. You guys know I like to watch the gaps, the gappers, right? Because then we're going to have free resistance all the way up to $24 from $22.56, a nice $1.50 move potential. ATU has 60.85 million in the float and was 49% short float volume on Friday. Thanks, Pat. Yeah, you know what? I think I need to have some good honey too and lots of tea. It'll get better. I actually love moringa tea now. It's a superfood. Posted about it on Twitter, so check that one out too. So, for Apple, you might be thinking, Jane, Apple has been downtrending. Why do you think this is a potential long? I've got a resistance here of 218.23, which it came and it found resistance point here, so looking for that to act as support, and then 219.04, which was resistance here. And when we look at it on the yearly chart, when we look back here, look, it's come and it's really consolidated. Let's do this. Let's do a little parallel channel, right? I want it to, it's going like this, right? So we have this consolidation zone where it's bouncing down, it's bouncing up, it's bouncing down, it's bouncing up. So it's in an area where they're trying to work out the direction. What do they want, right? Which direction are they going to choose? So that's why you got to be prepared either way. And off of the 15-minute chart, you know, we could actually raise it up here and say bullish above 220.92, the top part of that channel. You know, this could be the initial trade 119 up to 220.92, $2 move. So you can watch it for that, looking at the bigger picture. Right? We had massive volume of, now it looks like selling back here at the 221 area. So if we break above that, that's going to be a big move, right? Okay. Apple, 4.5 billion in the float and 27% short float volume on Friday. Looking at CMD for potential short going into the week. So we've got support to be broken of 74.89 to the downside and resistance of 76.51. This is the 15-minute chart. Then when we pull it back on the yearly, it does have 37.4 million in the float. Back here, prior resistance, looking for that to hold as support. Again, support right here. So looking again for that to hold as support. It did have earnings. It had a red day, green, then two big red days down. So looking for that continuation to the downside potentially. But we need that support to be broken right there. And look at that, $75 whole round mark. Next, we have MU. MU earnings, gap down, broke below the 50 simple moving average. Is it going to bounce off of this 161 EMA right here? 42.63 for potential support there to be broken to the downside. So we had earnings, red day, bigger red day. Looks like we're consolidating right here. And support of 43.01 to be broken to the downside for a potential short trade, and 43.80 to the upside. It does have 1.18 billion in the float. Next potential short, JBL. Again, same thing. This has had earnings, nice up 2 days, third day consolidation, fourth day consolidation. Which direction? To me, we've had bigger volume, but it hasn't been moving. So looking at that as potential selling, they're getting their trades ready for a big move one way or the other, right? Because the bigger guys are going to manipulate the market, or the retail traders just trading off of it. So 34.91 for support to the downside, 35.88 to the upside for potential long. And here we have our yearly chart. It was a potential breakout on the year, came up, but we've had 2 red days where it's selling down. A little bit of buying, more buying here on Thursday, a little less buying on Friday. So will we have that curl back down for it to come back and potentially test 32.93? We'll watch it and see. Next potential short as well, gain, same thing. It had resistance right here, broke up above, pulled back. Resistance, again, resistance here. Is it going to be a cup and handle breakout scenario, or a cup first test, second test, pull down? Massive volume on Friday. So looking to see which direction that volume is going to go with it, right? I would look for support to be broken 1242 to the downside and resistance of 1251 to the upside. Gain does have 32 million in the float. And last potential short is Tesla, right? So Tesla, let's get on the 15-minute chart. Resistance to be broken of 243.44. It was back here, pre-market on Friday morning. And this is after hours here Friday. And support, which was support during the day on Thursday. Again, it tested on Friday. So looking for that to be broken to the downside. Now, when you look at it, we do have this bigger trend line right here, right? Which, look, it tested it, sold off, tested it, sold off. So is it going to continue a sell-off here, even though we had that leaked email? Musk can't tweet anymore, so all he can do is leak employee emails, right? And boost the stock. Way back here, when it was down below 200, he was fearful of getting those margin calls with all of his financing that he did for SpaceX. And 212 is now looking like that's the support to be broken to the downside before we could break down below this on the bigger picture. So we've got that horizontal line here, a bit of an ascending triangle, or descending triangle, excuse me. So looking to see, are we going to go ahead and break it down further going into earnings down here, or will it break out above this with higher than normal volume? Two potential longer term swings if they work out. It's all about watching. I've got work, Slack, right? So Slack, obviously not doing too well from the IPO, but it's strongly discounted now from the IPO. We had a big buying day here, again, more buyers, and it really needs to break above this area right here for me, 23.11, to look at it as a potential long. But I do see some buying coming in right here, a little bit here, and a little bit more on Friday. So just keeping it on watch to see, go ahead and put an alert in case it crosses up there, and let me know. All right, and CARG as well. So CARG, same scenario. We've got it on the yearly chart here. This had come down, bounced off of it, bounced, came down, broke below, and it's looking at resistance. So is it going to be able to break above? I would look for 30.95 right here. We go ahead and add alert there, 30.95 for crossing up, for convince, and I'd want to see the volume behind it too. Actually, I want it up here. Why did it put it at 95? 55. Save. All right, so looking for that to go ahead, and we also have higher volume, right? We start to see the volume coming in. Big selling, descending volume, descending volume, descending volume, higher volume than on Wednesday, even higher volume on Friday. So looking to see which direction this volume is going to choose to take. Is that going to be selling volume, or is that going to be buying volume? So many people just talk about the price action, but looking to see the volume behind the price action is also crucial, because you need to see how much strength on either side, buying or selling, there is. All right, guys, as always, if you like my content, please like and subscribe. If you want to learn more about trading with the dark pool especially, come and check us out at the Trading Pit. And I would love to see you in LA, San Diego, or Dallas if you guys have it in your plans. Have a great week ahead, and carpe profit. Bye, guys.